Right, this is now the 4th time recording this, and my voice is kind of raw, so bear with me. But this is my Sagittarius build. I kind of want to do a zodiac themed build at the start of every season, or zodiac season, and we're just about to come into Sagittarius season now, so I thought this would be a good time to start this series. We'll run it for about 12 months, like I said, at the start of every season. If you really like it, maybe we can go again, but just let me know when we get, or at any point, really. But this video was originally not supposed to be sorry, this video was not supposed to be a speed build, so it's not recorded as if it was going to be a speed build with like all the decor and everything left in. What had happened is I borrowed my boyfriend's microphone to record, and his connector was loose, and I didn't know that at the time, so when I went to edit and I listened to this audio, it was horrendous. And then I got really upset because I started recording with my microphone, and my microphone is awful, just like it's like worse, if that was even possible, because it's so quiet, and then I have to boost it so much, and then that makes the static awful, and it's a whole thing. But I was like, I don't have enough money right now to like buy a whole new microphone. It's gonna have to wait until like January at minimum, and it was a whole thing, but luckily he's managed to fix it, and it's fine for now. But here I just had to put like a wall over the front because I was really struggling to get these plants to snap. Well, I did cut most of the fap out, but yeah, trying to get these plants to snap was a nightmare, so I just temporarily put a wall in, and then I played around with the idea of having this purple like wisteria up the wall, but it was so chunky, it wasn't lending anything to the build itself, so I just got rid of it. I think we have enough with the greenery overspilling on the front with that rooftop planter. Yeah, so this is going to be quite choppy, quite jumpy, and it is what it is, because yeah, I was cutting huge sections out. I was also very sick when I recorded this, but I didn't have this, you know, like ready to go. And then we need like a trim or something on the build, so I really like this castle estate one. I just feel like it adds something that it didn't have otherwise, like a certain, I don't know, separation from the other side, which I kind of wanted to be sort of darker. Maybe it was like an original structure along with the courtyard that we're going to build, and then the rest of it was like added on at some point. I really kind of like the sort of more rustic versus modern feel to it, and I know it has like a load of like huge modern windows even on the older side, but you know, that happens even with real builds. I really do wish that they had matched in this island living and the flooring and the wall type a bit better, because they have on some of them, but on some of them they haven't, and the textures are completely different as well. I would have really liked that wall texture as a floor texture, like just exact, but unfortunately we don't have that, and I guess that's fine. But I do end up darkening that side down to be the jungle adventure side as well, and currently I'm just trying to work out floorings and roofings and like what exactly I'm doing, what textures I want where, and yeah, I'm just trying to sort of really fine tune everything. And yeah, here now we've jumped over to the bedroom, and I was trying to figure out what bed I wanted. I'm using ChatGPT for the stereotype prompts, because while I know a bit about the zodiacs, I don't know like a lot, especially with the stereotypes, and I tried to research it like on my own, but there was a lot of conflicting information about what stereotypes are. So for the sake of ease, unless somebody who knows more about zodiac stereotypes than I do wants to like DM me some ideas and stuff, I will be using ChatGPT for my prompts. And in here I really did fight with this rug. I fought with every single rug, and honestly I've recorded this voiceover so many times, I don't know what I've said and what I haven't at this point, so if I'm repeating myself, I am really sorry. And also my voice is quite raw, so I'm trying not to like cough, but if I like have little moments where I have a little cough or something, then that's why, because this is now my 4th time talking for 23 minutes, and I've recorded my build tour twice as well. So I really want to get this done today so that I can, you know, do something else tomorrow, and it just means that my voice is feeling a little bit raw, along with coming off the back of an illness. So it is what it is. But I was really struggling with this rug, and I do end up changing it out completely, but you can see over the course of like this room that I keep fiddling with it, I keep changing it. I think if the tones were closer to the tones in the bed covers and not so like muted, it would have been fine. But they're not, so it's really throwing me off. And then the prompt said that they would possibly have like trunks instead of like traditional dresses. So I added some trunks in around the place, and I wanted that TV stand one, but then I realised that it had a shelf in it, and that just wasn't going to work for what I wanted it for. So we added that trunk from Life and Death, and we did add the one from Love Struck, but I do think I ended up removing it. And then we have that more sort of rustic jungle adventure dresser as well. And then I really wasn't happy with the wallpaper. I wanted to keep sort of like the stucco or concrete effect wallpapers going throughout, because I really love that texture on it. So we end up going for this green, because we also did need more green coming through, because we do have green in the bed covers. And then I think we add curtains in a minute. Yeah, I'm still fiddling with that rug. I'm not happy with it, but yeah. I think we're about to add curtains, potentially. Yeah, we are. And I originally go for sort of like a brown vibe, but then I realised that that's not a colour found in the bedsheet, and I'm trying to only go for colours found in the bedsheets to try and keep it like cohesive. So we do end up swapping it out for a yellow. Yeah, there we go. Sort of I know the railing's grey, but the railing, I'm prepared to overlook that. And then with this kitchen, I wanted to keep like the grey from the walls, but then the light timber from the other side of the house, and sort of bring in like a fusion of these two moments, but that really just didn't end up working, and I end up just neutralising the whole inside of the darker half of this build. And then I was trying to work out the spacing, because I did want like a dining table in here. That kind of didn't work out how I wanted it. And I do end up getting rid of these tiles as well, because it's just like, with how many windows we got in here, we just have like these 2 tile moments right in the corner, and it's sort of like, what's the point? Especially when you're going to cover it up with a fridge and like stuff, you know, like, yeah, your decor. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But I did sort of want to bring in sort of more rustic moments, and we had these alcoholic barrels on the walls, so I brought in the barrel bin, because there's that level of cohesion there. Also, trying to find absolutely anything in that wall of stuff was an absolute nightmare, but I managed it. I just wanted those herbs on the walls. And then this is another rug that I fought with. Like I said, I fought with every single one. I do end up with a sort of orange and purple vibe in here that I think worked out. And then I just wanted to find something else for this corner. We end up going for like that little, it reminds me of like a little offering box or something. It's got like tangerines and like the red cards in it. I'm not sure what it is or what it's meant to be, so like if anybody knows, please tell me, because I'd love to know. And then we just get some more sort of like plants and vibes, and I really like that fruit bowl, and we do end up having like a vegetable bowl in here as well, which I find later. I did really want a bar as well, but I thought like maybe the portable one, because then she could take it with her like wherever she goes. Like maybe she's into I don't know, cocktails, or like maybe one of her friends is really into making cocktails, so you know, she has a bar. And then I really wanted this table to work, but it just was not working, and we do end up changing it out. But I tried like a bunch of different chairs and a bunch of different swatches, and and it just was not working. And I do like the vibe we ended up with, but yeah, like this chair with the with the yellow and the red was really giving me McDonald's vibes, and it was not working. We do end up going for that first chair, which I really do like, and especially with how like similar the wood tones are, but then you have like the cream wicker that mimics the countertops, but sort of like the darker wood moment, which kind of mirrors in with the handles of the counters. I did kind of like that. So I wanted 4 seats, so we do end up moving the door around to accommodate the fact that we can have a dining table in the corner. And then I was like, that's very squishy though, I don't know if we're going to be able to get in there. So I end up swapping that counter out for an end piece and then just bumping everything up just a tiny bit. So hopefully they got the clearance to get in there now. And then yeah, swapping over to a round, more rustic table, I think really did help in this space. And these are the rugs that I ended up getting. Like, they're different, but they are similar enough that I'm okay with it, because like they have the rounded edges, they're both sort of in the orange group, and one sort of like a tiger-ish print, like it's very cartoony tiger print, but it is still like a tiger print nonetheless. And then we had that moment where I was trying to I started decorating the bedroom, but then we cut away because I was doing off-camera stuff for like a normal build. But obviously if it had been a if it had been a speed build, I would have left it in. Like, if I'd known this was going to be a speed build, I would have left it in. And then I really, really wanted like a dining table as a desk, because like I have a nice big desk, and I loved this last moment. So I couldn't breathe for a second there. Don't know what happened. And then I was playing around with this book idea, and I really liked it as a concept, but it wasn't working with like placements on the walls, so I ended up getting rid of it. And then I absolutely adore that trunk, and I didn't realise how much I missed that trunk until I got cats and dogs back. Because a load of these packs I used to have, but I lost them. I lost access to them, so I'm sort of slowly rebuying stuff. But I forgot how much I missed that item. It's such a good item. And then I did have an idea of having sort of like open back bookcases, so that you still get the light coming through, but you also get sort of like a privacy screen. And I really did like those ones, but I end up going for the more rustic ones because they have like trinkety bits on, and they're not so like uniform. And I thought that sort of suited the vibe a bit better. And then I only did 2 in the walkway, which also adds some more privacy for the bathroom. And also that bathroom has a full length window right now. I do end up shortening that down, but keeping it high up on the wall so that you get a bit more privacy with the bathroom. And then coming through into the living room, sorry, we do end up with mismatched sofas, which I really, really wanted. I thought it was important to have like a mismatched element. Like everything in this place, it's been got on at different times from different places, and it's all sort of very eclectic, very mismatched, but all sort of makes sense together in some way. So I really liked that chair, and I really wanted to use that chair, but we do end up moving it through to the light well and having a little seating area out there. But I'm really trying to make sense of this space, because we've got so many paths of travel in like so many weird places. Actually working that out was quite challenging for me. But I did really like this moment, the display table, and we find some bits to put on it. Love Struck really came through with this, because they've got the little axolotl and the dog. I think it's a dog, it might be a fox, I'm not sure. But we add those in along with a few other bits, but I thought that was really sweet. I'm not a big fan of axolotls personally, but I know like a lot of you are out there, and so I still wanted to add it in. And also it's kind of cute. And then we add that bird statue in. I can't remember what that's from, I didn't see. And then I did really struggle to find like a final thing to put in that empty slot, but we end up with like the crate with like the books and the plant in it, which I really did like, and we shoved another globe into the office. Like, I know we already had one, but you know, what's another one? You never have too many maps, especially when you like travelling and stuff. So, like, yeah, so we get this little crate. I'm not sure how well that plant would do shoved in the corner back there, but it'll be fine. It's Sims. Be fine. And then here's me having yet another argument with yet another rug in this place. I can't remember what we ended up going for in the end, but I know I argued with it for a fair amount of time. And it was just, I was trying to frame the space, and then I decided to get in like a coffee table to try and help a bit more, and I can't remember if that helped or not, but I know that I did it. And I changed the coffee table out a bunch of times as well. But I knew I wanted these two sofas because they're both very, very different, but they're both kind of similar in their style, with the fact that they've got the pillows and like the blankets thrown over them, and they've got the different mismatched patterns. And I originally did want a big coffee table, but it just wasn't working, and I do think I end up reducing it. I might not. No, actually I don't. I get the square one. I think it's from Cats and Dogs, the sort of more rustic one that kind of matches the dining table. I think I get that one. And that just works so much better with like framing the space, with getting some like angles in there. Especially with like all the other angles. Like we do have the curve moment on this display thing, but we've got some curves, we've got some angles, and I think it really works. And then in this spot I wanted to get a bookcase, and I ended up going for the book nook one because I don't want it like completely full of books. I wanted some like empty shelving, but then I didn't want it going all the way up to the ceiling, so I had to Tetris it around a bit, and it's actually kind of annoying. Like, it's good that they all snap together, but then it's really hard to sometimes separate pieces, and then it's like a whole thing. But I did end up Tetrising it around just fine, and it ended up working out, and I really like the shaping and like how high it ended up on the wall. That worked out really well with all the different pieces, and I'm just trying to change the colours up a bit so it's not all exactly the same. And then we end up out in the courtyard. I really struggled with like how I was going to do this, like in terms of like privacy, but we do get there in the end. I wanted like ladders, and I did consider a diving board at one point, but it was just too big for the space and I didn't end up including it. But I definitely wanted like those bubbles and steam and stuff that you get from Get Together. And then I did originally carry like the original flooring and wallpapers down, but then I was like, this really doesn't look good. And so I end up using the Jungle Adventure wall flooring, which that Jungle Adventure wall kind of looks similar to the Castle Estate foundation. Sorry, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. So I like that, and then I do end up carrying that up the wall entirely. So we do get rid of that island living stone. And then this is me trying to figure out roughly the height of a normal wall, and then trying to get the foundation level one down to that height, and it was a whole thing. But I do work it out in the end, and then we get rid of that reference wall. And then I really didn't know where to end it, and so yeah, it ends up coming all the way round, but then I can't get a door on it, and I can't get a fence on it, and then I end up getting rid of it completely, like in that spot, and then putting a random fence in. Yeah, I'm doing that now. I'm trying to like, can I just have a gap in it? No, that still looks weird. And then yeah, I end up getting rid of it completely, and then we put a fence in, and then I just put a double gate on, which also was harder than expected because all the double gates suck. So I find a compromise something that I'm sort of semi-happy with. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible, so as good as it gets sometimes in The Sims. And then I'm just trying to like figure out placements of like where I want the seating area, where I want the bar, and nothing quite fitting how I want it to, but I think it's still nice, you know. I really love that picnic table with like the colours, and like it's just, it really fits the vibe here. And then I end up using because I'm trying to figure out whether I want to use a fire pit or not, and I don't. I end up not doing that, but I end up using the Jungle Adventure bench, with the cushions on it in this space. And I do originally use a rug, but I do end up deleting that because it was complicating the space and I really don't think it needed it. So I do end up getting rid of it. But I do really like those colours coming through and everything. And then trying to place that yoga, no, it's not yoga at all, it's meditation. That meditation stool was a nightmare, especially with those platforms and like how big its grid tile is. And then yeah, here I'd realised that I'd forgotten a barbecue, so I just added that up there and shuffled things around a little bit. And then here I start using the the island living lounges, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I wanted to use Desert Luxe, and so I think I originally started using the island living ones because they have the bold patterns on them, but I end up changing them out for the Desert Luxe ones because they have some really lovely concrete moments, and I've used a few pieces here and there throughout the rest of the build. And I really, I just wanted that nice calm sort of moment. And I do end up moving the meditation stool downstairs into the office, but as you can tell, I really did not know where to put this thing. But it does fit in that gap quite nicely. And then I just end up getting some candles and stuff out here, getting some proper light. I did really want that awning, but it just was not going to fit. And I briefly considered changing out the bar for the Jungle Adventure one, but I ended up not doing that. And then I really wanted like a nautical themed sort of bathroom, because why not? But yeah, that vibe does kind of come through because it's still very sort of blue and white, but it's not like the navy blue. I originally used like the blue bath and everything from Life and Death, but I do end up changing it to white and sort of flipping the colour scheme around with blue walls and white. What are they called? Like fixtures? Fitting? No, I don't know. Items. Not the word that I want, but I can't think of it right now. My brain is fried, to be honest. And then I was really happy with the bathroom, and then I turned it around and I was like, oh, it's like empty. So we end up doing like a big basin moment, and I used the proper Jungle Adventure sink, that one, the built-in one. And then I put a big mirror in, but then like where the mirror sits, it clips with the sink like that, so I ended up putting a shelf up there to just hide it, which I think is one of my better ideas. And then it just gave me like a raised space to put all the like soap and the toothbrushes and stuff, and then it kept the sides clear so you could like spread out and do your makeup or whatever. But we're coming to the end now. Hopefully I don't get cut off like I have the other two times I've tried to do a voiceover, but I wanted like a towel space, and then I get like a little side table so you can put somewhere to put your cup of tea or your wine or whatever you've got when you're in the bath. And I kind of wanted that rustic moment coming through because we didn't really have any other rustic moments in this bath. Okay, so this is a sim that I chose from the gallery for this Sagittarius build, and this is also the third time I am trying to record this build tour, so hopefully this time goes a little bit better. I managed to fix my microphone, or more to the point, my boyfriend managed to fix his microphone. So hopefully I don't have to revert to the old one, but we will see. So this is her on the gallery. She's just called Sagittarius. She's a freelance botanist, outgoing, creative, erratic, and a spellcaster. And I just love her makeup and like how it's been done. It's really pretty. And she's by Shira Karasu, and I probably butchered that, but you'd think with the amount of times I've had to say it, I would have got better at it by now. So this is the build in all its glory, and I think we will start by touring the outside and then going around the back into the kitchen. So we just have a little raised walkway that goes down into a lower courtyard where we have a seating area, a swimming pool, a bar, and then coming back up to a raised section with a picnic table and a barbecue. The decking does go all the way around the build, but there's nothing around there, so we don't need to worry about that. Coming into the kitchen, we have a nice big sort of entertaining kitchen with some bar stools and a small dining table, so you could entertain here if you wanted to. We've got some nice rich colours, And I tried to get art and stuff that complemented everything. We've got sort of like yoga mats and stuff by the door, bookcases, clashing sofa pieces, but in like a good way, I hope. I tried. More artwork sort of like everywhere, like every bit of wall is crammed. In here we have a little bathroom, and you can see what I mean about raising that window up so you had a bit more privacy using the toilet. And then coming in here we have 2 doorways to this bathroom, which is a bit weird probably, but I liked it for this build. And then we have even more sort of like travel pictures, inspirational quotes, maybe some things that she's collected along the way. In here, meditation spot, and I thought this map could be like places that she's been or places that she wants to go, maybe her plans for her time in Selvadorada. In here we have this huge like lightwell stairway area, which I really liked. I thought it was a perfect place to get some plants in and also have a nice little seating area whether you use it or not. And then coming upstairs we have yet more plants on this balcony, but also these walls are absolutely caked in pictures and tapestries and just things that she's collected. And then in here we have the bedroom, and this is where it ended up. I'm sorry that a lot of this build was cut out. Like as I said, it wasn't intended to be a speed build, but things happened unfortunately, and I didn't want to just scrap the whole thing. But I did like this sort of reclaimed seating area, like the armchair, and then we have the random odd pieces of furniture that come together in a sort of eclectic way. And then coming out here we do have a little hallway out to the private corridor, not what I meant, private like balcony area. So we have the seating and the lounge areas along with the yoga mat. And then in here we have a bathroom. I did change up the colour scheme a bit and I moved the boys back in. Yeah, that's that mirror I was talking about that I changed out, because I liked the more straight cohesive mirror rather than the slats. But imagine being in this bar with this view, like that is just stunning. Yes, so this is the bathroom and that is the tour. So this is the build, and I really enjoy sort of like how sort of rustic but modern, it's a lot of clashing, and I really do like that. And I love like all the plants and everything like that cascading flower bed at the front. So let me know what you thought of the start of this Zodiac series. As I said, I want to run it for 12 months or 12-ish months, and then every time we come into a new Zodiac season, do another one based on the stereotypes of that Zodiac. So if you enjoyed this video and you would like more content from me, there's loads of videos over on my channel, and I also live stream sometimes twice a week. It really depends, like it's some Wednesdays and some Saturdays, but check my community tab because I post my schedule there every Monday so that you guys know what I'm up to. And I stream on YouTube, so the VODs will be there and available even if you don't catch me live at the time. But if live streams really aren't your thing, totally get it, and there is always a new video every Friday at 8 PM English time. So if you don't want to miss out, subscribe or check that you're subscribed, because sometimes YouTube does YouTube things and unsubscribes people. Make sure your notifications are turned on as well so you don't miss a live stream or an upload from me. And with that, I will leave you to your day and see you next time. Bye!